Hi everyone, my name is Phil and welcome to Phil Does 3D. I'm a multimedia and 3D artist and I stream live on Twitch on Mondays and Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the United States, which is 10 a.m. in Australia or 1 a.m. if you're in the UK. And as usual, if you do miss the live streams, you can watch the catch-up premiere streams on a Friday and Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific time in the US, which is 7 a.m. in Australia or 10 p.m. if you're in the UK. I hope all you guys and girls are well. Mr. Squarepeg into chat nice and early. Good to see you, Mr. Squarepeg. And Mr. Squarepeg says that Blender's got a competitor to Substance Painter. Very cheap, $20. That sounds really interesting and really cool. I'll have to check that out. Good to see you, Smokeberry, and Sniper Girl. It's good to see you as well. Good to see you guys and girls in chat. Okay, yeah, well, what is this alternative, Mr. Squarepeg, to Substance Painter? It sounds awesome. More information, please. What is more information? We want to know. Oh, I think you posted in Discord, haven't you, Mr. Squarepeg? Are you Headcloth? In Discord? On Discord, yep. Let's have a look. You've got me curious now. I'm going to copy the link and check it out. We will all check it out now. Anyone new to my channel, of course, go to phildoes3d.com if you want to know more about me. Look at my gallery and all that sort of stuff, links to my social media. But I want to see what this competitor is to Substance Painter, called Layer Painter. Should we check out the video demo? Should we do that? Let's have a look. I'm just going to mute the audio though. I just don't want to risk any audio with Twitch. This looks cool. Okay, looks very similar to Substance Painter, which is a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. And the interface is nice and clean, which I like. Here we are, good. Okay. Scaling, good. Layer masks, good. Map baking is good. Mr. Squarepeg says, and the Blender experimental branches have UDIMs, so this should support UDIM by default. Well, that's very cool. UDIMs are also coming to Substance Painter. They're actually in development at the moment at Adobe, and they're due to be introduced into Substance Painter soonish. Soonish. They've been saying for 6 months. Mr. Squarepeg says soon. That's very cool. That is very cool. And if you say it's only like $20, then that's outstanding value compared to Painter, say. I mean, Painter is not mega expensive, but it's certainly not $20. Just going through the changelog here. I want to see what they're doing. That is very cool. See, this layering system that they're saying here is instead of a complex node graph. I don't mind a node graph, but I do have to admit that a layering system is much easier for people to use than a node graph. People see a node graph and they just, their eyes sort of glaze over sometimes, whereas a layering system is much more intuitive. That's why Photoshop is so popular, because of its layering system. Mr. Squarepeg says the dev behind it also put up a lot of docs recently. Well, there you go, guys. You should check this out. And I will just pop this link in Twitch chat here. We'll call it Blender Painter. So you guys can check it out if you're not on the Discord server. But you should be on Discord, guys and girls. It's free to join the Discord server. There's a gallery where you can post your work images, a place where you can post links to your social media portfolios and things like that. Videos section, video tips and tutorials, all that sort of good stuff there. So join the Discord server. You can join it by clicking the blue graphic below my stream that says join the Phil Does 3D Discord. That's very cool. I'll have to check that out again. $20, that's really cheap. Check it out, guys. I'll look into it a bit more after the stream. But I have Painter. I do generally use Painter. But hey, $20, you can't really go wrong for $20. Just depends on how early in development it is and whether there are any bugs and stuff on the software. But very cool. Very cool. Thanks for bringing that to our attention, Mr. Squarepeg. I always like hearing about anything new happening in the 3D world. Not just because I need to know for work, but because it interests me. I'm always interested in what's happening and what's new in regards to helping your workflow with doing 3D. Because if it's good, then I can introduce it into the studio that I work at as well. So, Mr. Squarepeg. I was going to say Mr. Smokeberry. Smokeberry BBQ says layers are easy to work with, but being able to dig into the nodes if you have to go deeper is good. Again, I agree. I like nodes. I think nodes are more powerful than layers. But I know a lot of people are intimidated by nodes. They just look at a node graph and think, shit, what is this? What's going on? Because people are used to working in layers, say with Photoshop. So a layering system is easier for people to use, but a node system is much more powerful generally. So I agree with you, Smokeberry. Galen says, Galen, good to see you, buddy. Galen says, so Phil, when are you going to dip your toes into Blender? Yeah, I know, I've got to, haven't I? I really got to. I keep saying it, and I've got to do it. I'm always in Max, that's the problem. Like, with the studio, it's always Max. But I've got to, particularly now with the new version of Blender. It's coming along gangbusters, as they say. So I will have to check it out and start playing with Blender a bit more. Mr. Squarepeg says, I cannot wait for the Blender Animation 2020 project. It will be a massive overhaul of the Blender animation and rigging system. Gee, they're really going for it at the Blender organization, aren't they? New versions of Blender, this new Painter tool, this new animation tool coming. Sniper Girl says to Smokeberry, just noticed your plant. You did do an amazing job, Smokeberry. Let's check that out. Before we jump into my work, let's check out Smokeberry's plant because it looks, that looks really cool too, Sniper Girl, actually. Sniper Girl's posted an image of her van, which I'll show in 2 seconds. But I just want to check out this plant that Smokeberry BBQ has been working on for UDK or UE3. The UE3 version of the Unreal Engine. It's because the team of people working that want the plant are working in UE3, so that's the reason he's done it. And that's a beautiful render, Smokeberry BBQ, and I love the subsurface scattering here. That looks beautiful. Lens flares. I haven't seen lens flares since the 80s, buddy. Nothing wrong with the occasional lens flare here and there. I just remember in the 80s and 90s in games and stuff, lens flares were everywhere. But it looks cool. The lens flare looks nice. I love the texturing. I love the composition for the beauty render here, the angle you've got going on. Like I said, I love the subsurface scattering. That looks incredibly cool. What did you render this in, Smokeberry? Is this rendered in, I think, do you use Maya? I have to try and remember what all you different people use, but it looks very cool. Oh, Smokeberry says it's UE4. Okay. I should read my chat before I ask my questions, shouldn't I? Bad Phil. Bad Phil. Phil gets a Phil slap for himself. Um, so UE4, that looks, yeah, it looks cool, mega cool. Love it, love it, love the shader. Like I said, I love a subsurface scattering. Smokeberry says, I'm also just exporting for UDK for the team. Galen says it looks Machana organic. Sniper Girl says officially lost it, slapping him. So that's right, I slapped myself. I mean, you know, I deserved a slap. I didn't read my chat before I asked my question, and Smokeberry had already answered my question before I asked it. So I deserved a slap. Not that you don't deserve one too. Smokeberry says, dismiss the square peg. I probably shouldn't say it, but it's still not really announced. Don't talk about it if it's not announced, Smokeberry, and you're not supposed to. They won't trust you in future with their secrets if you tell them everyone about it now. Or biomechanical, Galen says, yeah, it does. It's a really creepy looking object. It reminds me a lot of the face of the eggs from Alien. It's sort of like what it reminds me of. And that thing, and they always freaked me out, so this is a bit freaky as well. Slaps for everyone, Smokeberry, that's right, slaps for everyone. Did those mod slaps go off, guys? I wasn't paying attention to OBS. It should all be working. I haven't changed anything. But that looks really cool. I love it. Nice work, Smokeberry. I also just want to show the van that Sniper Girl has been working on. And this also looks mega cool. And again, a very nice render. Is this in Marmoset or in UE4? What is this image from, Sniper Girl? I'm just curious. It's in UE4? Okay, cool. It feels good to finish things. It does feel good, doesn't it? We're going to finish the Temple of the Winds texturing and substance painted today. We are. I'm determined. So next week when I'm streaming back on Monday next week, we can jump into Mari probably just to do a couple of overpaints on some objects. Smokeberry says, the Sniper Girl getting close to finishing the van project now? And yeah, and you're still doing the environment at Sniper Girl, aren't you? Sniper Girl says, said that in Discord post, going to slap yourself again. Did you? Where I got with the revisions on the van, rendered in your... Yes, you did. So Phil gets another Phil slap from himself to himself. Again, me not reading before I ask. But it looks really, really nice, Sniper Girl. I really like it. Very nice indeed. If I'm going to critique anything here, it's just the grass looks a bit green. That's the only thing that's sort of standing out to me a little bit. This grass looks incredibly green. It might just, like the saturation might be a little bit too high on the grass. Unless that's the style you're going for. But the van looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. I love it. I love the wheels too. The wheels look really cool. Beautiful work. Nice modelling, nice texturing. Yeah, looks really cool. Yeah, even down to the volumetric effect you've got going on in the lights here, which you can do in Unreal. I showed you guys that when I was working on the House on the Hollow when we were doing the upstairs hallway. We had light shining through the windows. We fogged them up a little bit. Android Lust, it's good to see you, buddy. How are you? You got to fix it. Yeah, that's the only thing that really stands out to me. It's just the grass. I think it's the saturation. It's just a bit too green. So just knock back on the saturation a little bit in your texture map and you should be good. I like the asphalt as well, actually, on the ground. The road looks cool. Sniper Girls, yeah, so yeah, no, very nice work. You guys do outstanding work. Now, I just want to make sure I haven't missed anyone else's work in Discord because it's been a little while since I've talked about what you guys are doing in Discord. Euro posted a link to a wheel. Tuatara, good to see you, Tuatara. How are you? Morning to you, Chutara, as well. It's good to see you. I hope you've been well. What you been up to? I won't show the wheel because I think it's like a bit of a work in progress, and he needs to change a couple of things. Sniper Girl's door, and which is looking very cool. The retextured door that she's got on the van, which is, I'm not sure where it is on the van. Maybe around the back. Oh, okay. This is Edo posted this, which is really cool as well. Edo does a lot of character stuff, and this is a character that Edo created that he's posted in the gallery, which looks nice and cool too. I love how he poses his characters. He does them really well. Anything else I've missed? Okay, this was just a work in progress from Edo on the actual model itself that you see there. We'll just check that out quickly. Again, really nicely modeled. Beautiful work, beautiful. He always does beautiful modeling and texturing stuff on his characters. Always very nice work. Sniper Girl says an entire scene will be in Unreal when done. Chutara says, hi there, all sorry my connection is not great at the moment. No problem. Remember, you can knock my my stream quality back to Atara. So I stream in 1080p 60 frames per second, but I have transcoding on my stream, so you can always knock it back to, I think it goes all the way down to 160p. Might be a bit blurry to watch, but if your internet's potato like mine used to be, then I get it, and that does help. And also on mobile, if your internet is really bad, you can do just audio and not video. So just putting that out there for people that have really potato internet. Not just for my stream, for any stream you guys might be watching. If you're on the mobile app, you can just listen. Okay, so I think I'm pretty much caught up on the gallery in the Discord server. Don't think I missed anything. Sniper Girl says 160p is like one giant pixel. It is. One giant blurry pixel that moves around the screen. That's pretty much what it looks like. But hey, if your internet is potato and that's the best you can do, it's better than nothing, I guess. Then like I said, you can just have if you have the Twitch mobile app, you can just turn on audio only so you don't get any video at all. You just listen to your streamer talk, which I don't know how much fun that would be, but hey. Galen says, I'm going to go into lurk mode and switch to mobile since my office doesn't have AC and it's 101 Fahrenheit, 38 degrees Celsius. Oh man, I feel for you, buddy. That's terrible. That's so hot. You do that. You go into lurk mode, and I'll continue being a motor mouth like I normally am. Okay, so we are going to finish texturing the Temple of the Winds here in Substance Painter. We're going to do a bit more texturing in Mari probably next week. I'm just going to take a couple of the assets here and there into Mari and just do an overpaint on a few of them, because I like Mari, and a couple of them will benefit from a bit of a hand paint. So that's what we're going to do. That does suck, as Sniper Girl says to Galen. Smokeberry says, what's left on that template? What's left? What is left is two things. The steps here and the lion statues. They're the last two things we have to texture up. We've already created a smart material we're going to reuse, the one that we made here for the front steps. We're going to reuse that smart material we made yesterday and apply it to the steps, so they'll be textured up real quick. And then we're going to texture up the lines, and that'll be it. Well, I'm going to texture up one line and apply the same texture to all of them. I might do two versions just to try and vary it up. We'll see how the texture looks when we'll take it from there. Sniper Girl says, yep, finishing it in 2 months, Roger. Well, I knew it. If you were in the stream yesterday, Sniper Girl, I said to the guys watching, I bet you, because I said yesterday I want to finish the substance texturing this week, and I said, I bet you I know what Sniper Girl would say if she was in the stream. You haven't let me down. Statues and the statues and the steps are the last two things we have left to texture up. Everything else is textured up, including the interior of the pond. That's correct, isn't it? Yes. So yep, the steps and the lines, and then we're done for texturing and substance painter. So we're pretty close to being able to bring the model into Eon View to do some beauty renders. Galen says, so iPad in bedroom, here I come. You got your AC in your bedroom. I don't have AC in my bedroom, unfortunately. I've got AC downstairs, but not upstairs. Don't ask me why. Sniper Girl says, no wasted in stream yesterday. No, wasn't in stream. No, I know you weren't. I was super busy. No, that's cool. I know that you guys have a life, and you don't love me if you don't watch me. I know how it works. I know. Too busy for Phil. I get it. Okay. Let us start by checking our UV mapping because that's going to be really important. So I'm just going to isolate this central stairs, and we're going to check our UV maps. Okay. To begin with, some of them are out of the 0 to 1 space. That's not good. They must be within the square. And I want to make sure that the side pieces here are running horizontally and not vertically, so that our texture will tile correctly. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at the inner ring, which I believe is these ones. Yep. And I'm going to start, I think, by welding these all together so they're one continuous piece. Because if I have it like this, if I just move these into my UV space, it's not going to tile right. It's going to look weird. So we have to make sure that they tile correctly by welding them. Let's turn off full object mode there so I don't get confused. So I'm just going to make sure I select all of those before I do my weld. Why did you not want to weld? You do not want to weld. Why is that? Why you do this? Wrong one. That's the one I want. You do not want to weld. I'm trying to work out why it doesn't want to weld. Let's try it in vertex mode. No, there's something weird going on here. What am I doing wrong? Alright, you want to be difficult, be difficult. We'll do it this way. We'll try and do it this way. I'm not sure why it's having a problem wanting to do a weld there. It should weld. I can see where it needs to weld. Worst comes to worst, we can actually do an overlay, so not want to weld. I don't have anything turned on I shouldn't, do I? We're going to have to do it this way because it's really losing its mind for some reason. Don't ask me why. You know, it could be a case of it being flipped the wrong way. Let me just undo this. Sometimes it won't weld if one of the pieces is upside down. Let's see. No, that was correct. Let me undo that. I know that's correct because I know the line here. I can see the line running through here. You know what I'm going to do here just to make sure is I'm going to select these pieces and just do a flatten mapping on them. Let's move them out. Just in case maybe okay, in case there was a problem with Ryzen. I think Ryzen did the unwrap on this. So let's try this again. What are you doing? Let's do one of the ones down the bottom. It's easier for me to select. See if we can get it to work. It's not want to weld. Why do you not want to weld? Don't know what's going on here. That's okay, we can do it another way. If it doesn't want to do it this way, I will do it a different way. I'm just going back to before I did my flatten, hopefully. There we go. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn on snapping. We'll go into vertex mode. And okay, I'm just through a checker pattern down to check something. That's fine. So I'm going to overlay these now. So I have snapping turned on. And I'm just going to snap them over each other. And this one's got to be flipped. Snap that one over that one. So now they're all the UVs are overlaid on each other, but what that will mean that our UVs will line up correctly. for our tiling, as you can see with the checker pattern here. So that one's done. Let's look at this one now. This one is the outer ring at the bottom. So let's snap these ones. Sometimes people can get confused with the snapping in the UV mapping in Max. They can't find the options to change the settings. I believe some of the options are in preferences. Yeah. That's the tiling number and that's the grid size for the snapping. But most of the options you find here under the drop down for snapping inside the UV mapping tool. So I just wanted to point that out because I've noticed on forums a lot of people can't find those options. They're sort of hidden down here in the corner. So let's do this last one here. Let's check in the viewport here to make sure everything looks copacetic. That's fine, that's fine, all looks good. And now I'm just going to get Max to do a repack on everything. I don't want to rescale the clusters, but I will fill holes. Actually, before I get Max to do that, I'm just going to rotate these around. Pardon me. Let me just undo that. Let me just undo that. Got to make sure I grab them all. And now I'll get Max to do a repack. I don't want it to rescale. I do want it to fill holes. I don't want it to rotate clusters though, because I want these to stay horizontal. That should be fine because it's inside of a hole. So that should be good. I just want to make sure it's not touching. No, it's fine. You know, I think I'm going to just move these manually just to be on the safe side. That's a little bit too close there for comfort for me. So I'm just going to move it up a bit. The same with this one here. I think it looks like Max might have also, it has. I was just going to have to do another alignment with the grid because Max moved them off of each other. I don't want that. I want them overlapping. Bad Max. Bad Max. Same with this one down here. And let's move all of these ones up to this one. And let's move these ones on top of each other. Just do that again. There we go. Okay, we should be good. Again, I'm just going to double check by selecting these. It's the outside ring. That's the second ring. And the inner ring. Good. I think we're good. We're within the 0 to 1, nothing is outside. Good. Alright, let's export this so we can bring it into Substance Painter. And we'll create a new folder for it. We'll call it Circular Step. And we'll call it Circular Steps. I'm just going to copy that name. I'm going to rename that to Circular Steps as well. Let's jump into that. So we've created a smart material. These were the stairs we were working on yesterday. And we're going to reuse the same smart material for the circular steps in the middle of the model. So let's create a new project. Let's load up our circular steps. Okay. Yes, you can save. Let's bake out our maps. Must remember to rename that texture layer as well. Okay, let's rename this to Circular Steps. Let's load up our smart material. My terrace steps, this one here. Yeah, circular. This is going to prove to be. Well, first things first. Let's change the scaling and delete the blank layer at the bottom. Yeah, I just don't know whether this is going to work for us as a square on a circular step. Like, we're using square blocks for a circular step. It might look a bit weird. I'll see if I can get it to look decent. But I'm not sure if it's going to. That's tough. Yeah, it is tough. It's going to be really tough. Because, yeah, we're going to get this weird thing happening on the edges here with it. Because we're using a square brick on a circular terrace. We may not be able to use this smart material. We may have to make a new material, I think. Which is a pain, but what can you do? Snappy Girl says, honestly, I think it would look better if the blocks went. I agree, it would look better. if the blocks went around the circle, for sure. I'm just trying to work out how. I think the easiest thing for us to do is probably to make a new smart material, not using a brick texture. These bricks were okay for the stairs because the stairs were all rectangular and geometric. Trying to fit a square onto a circle like this is not good. So as Sniper Girl says, we could if the brick pattern was circular, then that would work. But this texture is not circular. It's horizontal and vertical. It's not workable with squares, Smokeberry. I agree. Sniper Girl says you could force the UV map to have the shell in a straight line. Yeah, that would have some stretching. Yeah, you could. It's a lot more work to re-UV map when we've got all these lovely substances here that we can use to make something new. So why don't we just do that? Why don't we just make something new? We can still probably reuse a lot of these layers. We'll just swap out the base layer for something else. I think that's probably the best way to go for this object. I don't think there's any way I can turn the lines off in this. I'm just checking. No, it's not going to work for what we want. Unfortunately. I don't think there's any way I can. No, let's find something else to put here. Because I like mixing and matching different things anyway, so it's not going to be an issue. It's not a problem. Sniper Girl says could be worth it. Yeah, you could do as Sniper Girl suggests, but I think we'll just see if there's another material here that we can use that might be just as good, if not better. And it will be a lot less work for us to have to re-UV map. We won't have to re-UV map. I'm just going to turn these layers off so I can just work with the base layer. I just want to see what this looks like, because I used this in the game for the terraces in the game, and this model is going to go into the game level as well. So I'm just wondering if we should maybe try and reuse this texture so it matches the other terraces in the level. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to, because this Temple of the Winds is going to be away from the main building somewhere in the forest. So I'm just trying to work out now whether I should match the texture I'm using on the terraces or make it completely different. It's probably better if it's completely different, but I'm just going to play around here and have a look. ArtStation introduced ArtStation learning video tutorials from professionals in the industry. Cool. Gotta love that ArtStation. Maybe this wasn't the one I used. Oh, okay. I'm wondering what was going on here. Let me drag this down. Sniper Echo, good to see you, buddy. How are you? How's things? How you doing, Sniper Echo? Have you made the move yet? Or are you getting ready to make the move? What's going on? You're back on my excursion. Back from your excursion. Okay. How did it all go? The guys are talking about ArtStation here. And Edo, good to see you, Edo. I was showing your character work off to the guys and girls earlier in the stream. That character you posted these images of in the gallery. She looks very cool, very nice. You always do lovely work. Smokeberry says there are no additional costs on top of the Pro Plus. Edo says, so my school talked to me about teaching a college class. That's really cool, Edo. They're going to make you stand in front of all those guys and girls and give a class. How do you feel about that? It can be a bit unnerving if you're not used to talking in public. Andrew Luss says, great time to go to ArtStation Pro now. Sniper Girl says to Edo, we do always love your characters. Edo. Sniper Echo says, I'm good, thanks, Bill. Amazing amount of fun project. Well, that's good to hear, Sniper Echo. And good to hear you're doing well. Edo says, yes, I did show your work earlier in the stream, Edo. That character you were working on, the last character you posted images of in the gallery. I showed those on stream. Sniper Girl says to Android Lost, no kidding. Sniper Echo says to Smoker and Sniper Girl and Edo, hey. So yeah, I'm trying to decide whether I want to reuse this texture because, like I said, it's used in the terraces and in the game. And this model is going to go into the game. I just don't know. Let's just leave it there, but turn it off for the moment and see if we can find something else that might be cool. What else we got here? I just have to avoid anything that uses like a square brick pattern. How could you forget to put those textures in Sniper Echo? How could you? Yeah, no, we can't. I'm saying, you know, we can't use a square pattern. But I do like that texture, actually. We can't use it, though. What else we got? I'm just curious what this is going to look like.
Just give me one chance, one dance. I fought off my anxiety to walk up to your body.
Not saying we can use it, but I'm just curious as to what it's like. Sniper says, so what have I missed these last few weeks? I haven't even been on Discord. Well, you've missed us. We're finishing the texturing and substance in our Temple of the Winds today, Sniper Echo. That's the plan anyway. And once we've done that, we're going to be jumping into Mari next week. And of course all the lovely images and stuff people have been posting in Discord. That's what you missed. We all missed him. We all missed Sniper Echo. Edo says he missed him. We all missed him. Sniper Girl wasn't in the stream yesterday either. No, that's right, she wasn't. Yeah, and I was sick last week. That's right, I was off last week. I wasn't streaming. I had the flu, the winter flu that's been going around. It wasn't good. I was telling the guys yesterday it's killed like 500 people this winter in this country, the flu. I don't think we can use this one, unfortunately. As interesting as it is, not really appropriate for what we want. You missed art, as Smokeberry says. That's right. And Blender News. That's right. Yeah, Sniper Girl, 500 people have died of the flu in this country this winter. Now, as I said yesterday, it's mainly the very young and the very old. So who cares, right? No, that's not what I'm saying. But there have been a range of people, but it's mainly the young and the old. Not to say that there haven't been people in the middle that haven't died from it as well. It's quite a bad flu. You can get flu shots. I don't know if you guys have flu shots, but that's the thing in this country where you can try and stop from getting the flu by getting a flu shot. I don't generally do that. Not that I've got anything against having a needle or anything, but I'm just too lazy. So I caught the flu. Yes. Jump on the Discord, Sniper. The Blender News is posted in Discord. Another reason for you guys and girls to join the Discord server. But Sniper Echo is a member of the Discord server. Actually, Sniper Echo is a mod on the Discord server. Mr. Squarepeg says we have flu shots. Oh, cool. You have flu shots. That's good to hear. Do you guys get flu shots? That's what I'm asking. Do you guys actually go out and get a flu shot or not? Sniper Echo says Edo been in Germany, ended up being assistant project director, assistant creative director, and technical project lead on the show. Wow, that's going to look super cool on your resume, Sniper Echo. That's really cool. Sniper was telling us about it a few weeks ago on the stream. You can't spell? We understand. We get the gist, Sniper Echo. It's okay. Mr. Squarepeg says confirmed is an anti... No, I'm not an anti-vaxxer now. I was waiting for that to come up. I'm not an anti-vaxxer at all. In fact, I think people that don't vaccinate their children particularly are evil because it puts every other child at risk. If parents decide that it's too dangerous for little Johnny to be vaccinated because I don't trust the government, so I'm not going to vaccinate him and I'm going to send him off to school and he's going to give whatever he's got to everybody else. That's terrible. Everyone has to be vaccinated, for children particularly. And I'm not saying I'm an anti-vaxxer, I'm just saying I'm lazy. Sniper Girl says that we have flu shots. There's also flu mist. I haven't heard of flu mist. We don't have that. Android Lost says I generally don't get the flu shot either. Laziness. Yep. Mr. Squarepeg says I go and get flu shots. Good for you, Mr. Squarepeg. Sniper Girl says to Sniper Echo, we won't budge. That's right. We don't care about spelling. It's cool. We understand what you guys are trying to say. So if you misspell something in chat, that's cool. Android Lost says I had the flu once and regretted living. Well, I tell you, I felt like I was going to die. Last week, it was terrible. I had no energy. I had the chills. I had a fever, so I was sweating and cold and all at the same time. And yeah, you don't appreciate being healthy until you're sick. You don't appreciate how good it feels to be healthy until you're not. It was terrible. I thought I was going to die. I felt awful. Absolutely awful. Sniper Girl says, I don't. I can get the flu shot for free, though, through VA. I avoid them. Sniper Girl says, I'm not an anti-vaxxer, I just have never gotten the flu. See no reason to get the flu shot. Sniper is commenting Sniper Girl on her van, and it does look very cool. Again, jump on the Discord if you want to see Sniper Girl's van. I did post, we showed it at the beginning of the stream. Smokeberry says, never gotten the flu. What kind of mutant are you? Just Sniper Girl. I generally don't either. I'm generally pretty good in that I don't get sick a lot. But not this year. This year, I didn't avoid it. It's all those germy people leaving their germs everywhere. Giving me their flu. Actually, I bet you I know when it happened. I was supermarket shopping, and there was this lady in front of me at the milk, the fridge in the supermarket that has milk and stuff, so I had to get some milk. She was standing in front of me and she's coughing away, not putting her hand over her mouth, just blah, 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 cough, 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 cough. Here is me behind her, waiting for her to get out of the way so I can get some milk. She's got the milk fridge door open at the same time while she's coughing away. So I bet you I caught it from her. I bet you, because it was just a few days after that I came down with it. So that's my theory. She gave me the flu. This old woman standing in front of me at the supermarket. Sniper Girl says, the only time I had flu-like symptoms was when I was in the Navy. The ship did flu mists 1 year and half the ship was sick in quarters from it. Excluding that, never had it. Yeah, I've heard some people can actually get sick from the shot. But it's a mild version of the sickness, you know what I mean? It's not the full-on flu that you'd get normally. If you do get sick from the shot. It's a much milder version of it. But some people don't get sick at all after the shot. From the shot, I should say. Here I was thinking this is going to be nice and simple. I'll just reuse the smart material I made yesterday. No. That's not going to happen, is it? Let's look at this rock texture. Let me turn. Just trying to work out why. As a poor rock texture, I'm getting these lines in it. What is going on there? It's obviously a non-tileable texture, which is really odd for a substance material. It's the drip line here, that's what's making it look like it's tiling. And it's a non-tileable texture, which is, I don't know who made the substance, it wasn't me. Did a pretty poor job there. Sniper Echo says, all them milk women, they're the worst. That's right. I'd bet patient zero when the zombie apocalypse happens will be a milk woman. I bet you it will be as well, Sniper Echo. Those milk women. Smokeberry says I have a pretty strong immune system, but even I tend to get a mild case of it every other year or so. Mr. Squarepeg says, I really think that we should take a page out of New York State's book on how they deal with anti-vaxxers. Make vaccinations mandatory. I agree. I think they should be actually too. At least for certain age groups. Should be mandatory, at least. Sniper Girl says to Sniper Echo here. Sniper Girl's agreeing with Mr. Squarepegs and says, I mean, there's children that can't get vaccinated due to health reasons. Other people getting vaxxed helps decrease the chance of those children getting sick. That's right. You know, if parents don't vaccinate their child when they can, it really undoes all of the good work of vaccination to begin with. So, you know, they all need to be vaccinated. Every child needs to be vaccinated if they are able to be vaccinated. And, yeah, these anti-vaxxer people, they're nuts. You know, saying it gives their children polio or, you know, some ridiculous thing like that. I don't know because I don't read the anti-vaxxer crap. But it's just crap. Those people are nuts. They're nuts. People, I tell you, some people. It's like those people that don't believe the moon landing happened, you know? That it was all put on in some studio somewhere in Hollywood or something. I mean, really? Really? I could tell you the earth was flat and they'd believe me. Sniper Girl says the community commonly say that it gives kids autism. Maybe that was what I was thinking of. I know, it's ridiculous. Smokeberry says, I think for this round asset, I would probably paint the grout lines by hand with a height layer and then use one of those newfangled comparison layer effects to build the smart masks. I don't think you'll find an attractive pre-existing material for it. Let's see. The challenge is on. Sniper Echo says, I don't think forced vaccination is a good thing. It sets a bad example when vaccinating for God knows what will happen. I agree. No, I don't agree. I think forced vaccination can be a good thing for certain age groups. Like I say, maybe between the ages of, I don't know, 4 and 15 sort of thing. Where they're, you know, they're surrounded by other kids. Either preschool, primary school, high school. That's what we have in this country. I don't know how it works in the US. I think if you're with a group of other children, you should be vaccinated. If you're a child and you're with a group of other children. Mr. Squarepeg says, heck, the person who invented the polio vaccine was a hero back in the day. Yes, he was. Mr. Squarepeg says, now polio is coming back. That's because people aren't, yeah. You see that they've got they think they have a cure for anthrax. That's amazing. It's like it's got a 90% cure rate. They've been testing it in Africa with the anthrax outbreak that's been happening there. And that will be a huge deal if they have a vaccine for anthrax. Because that's a horrible way to die. Horrible. Sniper Girl says, dude, we have flat earthers that believe that we live on a disc. Nothing beyond it. That's what I mean. What is wrong with people? Man, some people are so stupid. I'm sorry, but some people are just dumb as a brick. A disc that flies upwards, Android Lust says, that's right. Yes, Ebola Smepery. Mr. Squarepeg says you are thinking Ebola, isn't that what I said? Did I say Ebola? No, I said anthrax, didn't I? Ebola is what I'm thinking of. You are correct. My apologies. Yes, Ebola, an Ebola vaccine. Which is a horrible way to die. Anthrax is a horrible way to die too. I think I had anthrax. I was watching a documentary on the Second World War, I think it was, and I think they used anthrax during the Second World War. I think that's why that was on my brain. Sniper Girl says, yep, with no force causing constant acceleration. Let's see. Can't I find something I can use here that will be half decent? There's got to be something. I like this honeycomb tile, that's really cool. I just want to see what that looks like. It's just an interesting texture. I'm just going to unlock this here and play with the values all separately. Just trying to work out whether that might be interesting or not. Sniper Girl says, had me questioning things because when I was in the military I was vaxxed for both smallpox and also anthrax. That was from 2007 to 2012. Sniper Girl says, I like it with the honeycomb. Yeah, I don't mind it with the honeycomb tile either. I think it's interesting. I'm just trying to work out whether it's going to be... Actually, we could... it might be really interesting on the model, or it might be a bit busy. I'm just worried it might get a bit busy, but we can export the texture and check it. Mr. Squarepeg says, fun fact, there was an anthrax scare in the early 2000s here in the States. One person died, but no one was ever formally charged with anything, so that means there is a terrorist still out there with anthrax. That's a scary thought. Smokeberry says, I read that wrong and the context wrong. Smokeberry says, I like my anthrax with honeycomb. You're crazy, Smokeberry. Mr. Squarepeg says, since we are talking about anthrax, Sniper Girl says, I agree with you. If you ever serve in the military, it's mandatory if you're ever deployed. That's right. I'm going to pull this honeycomb down here to the base of our stack. We'll turn our thing back on. Now I'm going to see if these material layers we had on top of it will be useful for this as well or not. Normal, 100%. So Mr. Squarepeg says, heck, there's a serial killer in northern Florida killing people who are trans and black, and the police won't do anything about it. Same patterns with the killings. Yeah, that's terrible. What do you mean the police won't do anything about it? They should be... That's not good. What is wrong with the police? What is wrong with these people, I say?
When the downtown lights start to come out at night, we go insane, and when I arrive, I start to lose my mind. I go insane, 'cause they told me you take too much.
Android Lost says, actually, I've heard of that, Mr. Squarepeg. Galen says, wow, went from super hot to 1-inch hail. That's global warming for you, Galen. That's what we've been talking about. It's freaky and weird weather that's going on now. And that's the problem. There's all this weird, you know, global warming doesn't just make it hotter or colder, it makes everything strange. The weather just gets weird. Might just pull in just a little bit here on this grunge, just to break up the honeycomb a little bit so it looks a little bit older and worn.
Shutting us out like you never act like this before.
Galen says 2.5 centimeters. 1 inch. Geez, that's huge hail, Galen. 2.5 centimeters, that's like, yeah, man, you wouldn't want to get one of those. You wouldn't want to be outside and be hit in the head with hail that size. Or have your car being hit with hail that size. Yes, rest in peace anyone's car, Smokeberry. Miss Sniper Girl says, honestly, not super surprised with the idiot in chief we've had here from all the. We've had more hate crimes per capita. Mr. Trump, I tell you, Mr. Trump is such an interesting character. It's like watching a car salesman sometimes. I'm sorry for those people. I don't want to disparage your president, but he just comes across as like an insurance salesman or a car. You know what I mean? Just that. Every time he let's talk about the trade war with China, shall we? It's on. It's all. They love me. They're going to come to a deal. They're worse than Hitler. You know what I mean? It's just all of these. He flip-flops from one opinion to the next within the space of like an hour. It's quite incredible to watch sometimes. It really is. He's an interesting character, Mr. Trump. Your car's in the garage? Good to hear, Galen, because it would be dented with hail that size. Mr. Squarepeg says, I want that person gone. Galen says, at first I thought it was my next door neighbour being just noisy. It is really messed up, Sniper Girl, I agree. Galen says there's a severe thunderstorm warning for the area east of me, and check the radar before heading to the bedroom. We're supposed to get a storm, I think, coming through Melbourne this evening as well. They're predicting hail with that as well. But I don't think it'll be 2.5 centimetre hail. Our hail is usually like, you know, 0.5 millimetre at most. Mr. Squarepeg says, feel free to talk bad about him, we do it all the time. He's such an interesting character. Sniper Girl says, it's like watching a train wreck in slow motion. It is. It's fascinating to watch because it is like watching a train wreck in slow motion. He's just such an unusual character. He really is. He's a unique little wallflower, Mr. Trump. He's his own person. I'll give him that. I don't think I've ever come across anyone quite like him before. He's yeah. And of course I saw the pictures of him because you know how they've just had a G7 meeting overseas in France, I think it was. And then they had pictures of them all talking when they got together to talk about climate change, and Mr. Trump didn't deem it important enough to even show up. So they had pictures of all the world leaders sitting around this table with this empty chair where Mr. Trump was supposed to be. I don't know, apparently he had other meetings and he couldn't make the meeting, but right. Other meetings, my ass. He just doesn't believe in climate change. Neither does our politician. Look, our Prime Minister in this country, he doesn't believe in climate change either. So, it's not just you guys in the US that have a bad guy in charge. We've got one here as well. Galen says, well, I had to take my car to the dealership for a check engine light, so it's the liner that's in my garage. Okay. Mr. Squarepeg says, I think Trump is going through dementia due to years of drug use and heavy stress. I wouldn't know about his drug use. I mean, I've heard about those tapes that the Russians have on him. Maybe that's why he's so friendly to Russia. I've heard those rumours about the PP tapes. Whether that's true, I don't know. I'm not going to disparage your president and talk about a rumour, a nasty, vicious rumour that's been going around. Sniper Galen's not in danger, which is good to hear. Sniper Girl says, yeah, we tend to talk bad about him and have a lot of people who complain about needing safe spaces, yell and scream that they need their safe space because we talked bad about the president. Galen says he supposedly had meetings with two of the leaders that were at the meeting. Can we believe anything that he says though? That's what I'm starting to question, because he says things that just like the North Korea thing. I don't really want to get into a whole political discussion here because no one likes politics. But North Korea, he was supposed to have a deal with North Korea, and they're firing missiles all over, every second day, and Trump doesn't seem too concerned about it. And so, I just find that he says that he's achieved this thing. He announces he's achieved this thing that just isn't true and doesn't happen. It's about many different areas, not just North Korea or just China. It's a whole lot of things he says that he's going to do or he has done that just don't happen. But maybe he did meet with two other leaders, not in front of the cameras. Who knows? Mr. Squarepeg says he won't make another 4 years. That's for you guys in the US to decide. You must get out and vote. If you want to vote for Mr. Trump, you're watching and you are a Trump supporter, then you've got to get out and vote for him. And if you're not a Trump supporter, make sure you get out and vote next year during your presidential election. Sniper Girl says to Android, lost 4 more years of him. I'm going to see if I can go to Canada as a refugee. And Galen says, take me with you. Mr. Squarepeg says Canada should annex the US. Sniper Girl says he's known for always lying. Well, that's the impression I get. I'm afraid that he's very loose with the truth. He just does. He just seems to be very loose with the truth. Nice way of putting it. I won't call him a liar. I'll just say he's very loose with the truth. Galen says to Sniper Girl, well, I can see Mexico from my rooftop. Android Lust says to Trump thinks North Korea is a wonderful place. There's good people there and he has friends there. Look, I'm sure there are good people in North Korea. Not everyone that lives in North Korea is evil and horrible and a despot like the North Korean leader. I'm sure there are good people there. But I don't see any progress on the North Korean front at all. For Mr. Trump saying that, I've achieved this or I've done this, I just don't see the result on the ground. As they say, just from what he says he's achieved to what's actually happened, it seem to be two different things completely on many different areas. But that gets back to the fact that he comes from he was a TV person, a TV reality television person. You know what I mean? They're used to embellishing the truth. It's all part of the show. He treats being president like he's running a reality TV show. I'm sure he does. That's the impression I get. Galen says, you can tell when Mr. Trump is lying, he's talking. That's right. You can tell he's lying when his lips are moving. Yep. That's all politicians though, isn't it? When their lips are moving is when they're lying. Mr. Squarepeg says, I would rather vote for Bernie or Warren. Sniper Girl says, Washington Post has caught over 10,796 lies. Jeez, not even I could lie. You know, you got to be a pretty good liar to be able to lie 10,000 times in your presidency so far. Squirrels Sneaky. Good to see you, Squirrels Sneaky. Says Trump thinks North Korea is a great place because no one there questions their leader. Yeah, and I think he thinks China is a great place too because hasn't the Chinese leader just said that he's going to be leader for life? So, you know, there's no more changing leaders I think it was like every 10 years in China they changed their leader. Don't quote me on that. But not anymore. He's going to be the leader for life, just like Mr. Putin is in Russia pretty much. And I think that's why Trump likes Russia so much as well, because, you know, they call themselves a democracy, but they're really a dictatorship. And that's what Mr. Trump would like to do. Snappy Girl says, anybody that says that many lies is a liar. Android Lust says, that's Trump's go-to phrase to talking about most countries. He seems to really badmouth countries that the US is supposed to be friends with. And you know, and he loves countries that are questionable in their human rights records. I just don't get it. I don't understand where Mr. Trump comes from sometimes. I don't get it. At least our politicians, as bad as they are, and believe me, in my country, they are bad. At least, you know, they don't sort of try and pretend that countries are our friends when they're not. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with Mr. Trump. But again, I think he treats everything like it's a reality TV show. He thinks he's still on reality TV. I'm sure that's what's going on. This mud layer, I don't know that I really like the smart mask we're using. I might change the smart mask on it. I'm just going to play with it to see if I can get it to look a bit more like I want it to, but if I can't, then we'll change the smart mask. That's a bit better. I just wanted to pull it back from the edges here a bit. It was just a bit too heavy here on the edges. That's Trump's go-to phrase, Android Lust says. Galen says, the thing that does me in is Trump's decrying fake news when he's confronted with proof of his fault. Look, I don't get that either. I watch a lot of international news. I like to watch BBC World, and I like to watch CNN and Al Jazeera, all the large international news stations. The ones that Trump generally hates as well. I know he hates CNN, calls it fake news. And I don't understand Mr. Trump calling it fake news when it's pointed out where he's lied, when he's lied, but it's fake news. I don't know. So yeah, I get sick of that fake news business as well. When they have facts to back up what they're saying. Mr. Trump has no facts backing up what he's saying. Sniper Girl says to Galen, "You're good then. Being a refugee from US to Mexico, that would be awesome. And quite the reversal." And Red Lust says, to Galen. Sniper Girl says, "Honestly, if Trump loses next election, I can see the government needing to send the army to boot his butt out of the White House." Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that'd happen. As much as it might be good, it'd make for a good show, that's for sure. And there is every chance, guys, that Mr. Trump might be elected for another 4 years. You just don't know, because no one thought he would be elected the last time, did they? He sort of came out of nowhere and got elected. So there is a chance that he could get re-elected again for another 4 years. You guys generally do give your presidents 2 terms in office. Unless they're really, really bad. And I don't know how you could get much worse than Mr. Trump, but I guess we'll wait and see what happens when you guys go to an election. Because, like, in this country, I did not vote for the Prime Minister we have now. I voted for the other guy. And because the party that are in power in this country have already been in power for 1 term or 2 terms. So they've already been in power for, like, we have 3-year terms here, so 3 or 6 or 7 years. And I thought we would, that the public would boot them out, but nope. They got voted back in yet again. Voted in with more of with a greater margin than they had last time. So, I mean, I've given up on politics. I've pretty much given up on politics. Sniper Girl says, "We'll be screaming that the polls were fake news." Squirrel's sneaky. This what you're seeing here is not Blender. This is Substance Painter that I'm using. Algorithmic previously, now owned by Adobe. So this is Adobe Substance Painter. And I use 3D Studio Max, which we'll jump back into in 2 seconds when I export this texture. Let's just do a quick save here. Let's save it in the right one. Circular Steps. We're going to call it Circular Steps. Again, not reading my chat before answering a question. My apologies, it took me a while to answer you, Squirrel. Squirrel says, "I just started learning Blender this week and I'm relatively new to this sort of 3D modelling. What's Substance? Is it along the lines of ZBrush?" No. ZBrush is for modelling, so making a 3D model. Substance is for texturing your 3D model. So you use these substances here that you can download from the Substance website or purchase. And you apply those to your model with layers, smart masks, all that sort of thing to texture your model. So Substance is really just for texturing up stuff. Textures, that's right, as Galen says. Blender is going to take over Android last. Galen says ZBrush is more sculpting. Trump has already joked about calling off the election in 2020. He couldn't do that. Wouldn't that be against your constitution or whatever? There's no way he could not hold an election. Sniper Girl says, "Honestly, the second I saw that it was Hillary was a nominee, I knew it would be Trump as president. Was literally talking to my ex when she won the primary and said, Trump just won the presidency. Wasn't surprised at all when he won." Yeah, because I don't live in the US, I don't know much about your politicians. I always got the impression Hillary Clinton was okay. But again, I don't live there, so I don't really know. Okay, let's apply this texture to this model. We are going to create a DirectX shader for this one because it's tiles and it will look cool. Being DirectX shader in Max's viewport. Oh, I have not changed the path before I did the export. Oh, why do I always forget that? Let's just re-export these textures again. Make sure we put it in the right path. Would help. Circular steps. Android Lost says, I thought the same Sniper Girl. Once she beat Bernie, it was already over. Galen says, we have a constitution. Question mark. New hello. Good to see you, buddy. Says, hi Phil, how you doing? Everything okay? You look so tired. I look tired. I just finished my graduation project, which made me lose 6 kilograms after 1 month of implementation. You can check it out here. There you go. Do I look tired? You're telling me I look tired, you have. Thanks a lot, buddy. I look tired. Great. Well, I had the flu last week, so I'm still recovering from that. I caught the winter flu that's been going around. So I'm going to say that's the reason if you think I look tired. It's because I've been sick. I couldn't stream last week because I was sick. Charming. I'll check out your link in 2 secs, New Hollow. Color map. This is the wrong folder. Circular steps. Color map. Let me change my normal map before I forget. I pulled the wrong one in. That's the one I want. The metallic map. And the roughness map. Let's turn them on. We're going to make it unique. Open up the node graph. Change it to 3 lights instead of 1. Save our shader. Circular steps, that's good. Let's just pull in the bitmap so we know what the shader is. And let's assign our shader to our material. Okay, let's put it all together back with our main model now. And I have to decide if I like the color or not. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. New hello, don't unless you're a sub to my channel, don't post links in Twitch chat. You will get timed out. Only subs can post links in Twitch chat. Everyone can post links in the Discord server, New hello. So if you want to post some links to some stuff that you're working on, jump in the Discord server. That's the link there. If you aren't a member of the Discord, I think you might be, but if you're not, post your links in Discord. Don't post them in Twitch chat. Only subs can post links in my Twitch chat. So sorry about that, New hello. Sniper Girl says she's a train wreck with horrible domestics and foreign policy record. Okay, Galen says, I think Hillary would have been a good president, but there were too many things distracting and dividing the Democrats. Thank you, Smokeberry, for that. Sorry, New hello. It just took me a while to catch up with the chat. I would have told you, but Smokeberry was on it for me. So thank you, Smokeberry. Sniper Girl says to Galen, with her political history, I disagree. It's politics. That's why we don't talk about it. I think I've added some people on. I've added some people. Galen can see the links, and I can see the links as well, even though other people might not be able to, because I've added. When I first started streaming, I had my supporters like Galen. Smokeberry was here from the beginning as well. So I added certain people as special. They're not moderators, but Smokeberry is a moderator. But they're special people that can see links and can post links, but they're not a sub. It's only a few people. They were only my supporters that were watching me for when I first started streaming. So those people can see links. So even though Galen is not a sub, he's one of these special people that can see links, like a VIP. So that's why Galen can see the link. And some other people that are VIPs might be able to as well, but generally, unless you're a VIP or a sub, you wouldn't see the link. Hacks Android lost says to Smokeberry. Sniper Girl says to Galen, the train wreck is still a train wreck. Smokeberry says I have super mod power so I can see it. That's a good art biz. Galen says BTTV has the option of showing deleted messages just grayed out. Well, there you go. But I think you are also a VIP on the channel, Galen. I'm sure that I added you. Which means that you can post links and stuff as well. Okay, let me check out the link that New Hello posted. Now that it's been vetted by my moderators, I'm happy to check it out. That is cool. So this was for a project you did, New Hello. As part of, did you say as part of your uni thing? Looks really cool. Very cool. The only thing that stands out to me here is this tiling texture. The pattern, the repeating pattern in the tiling texture. It's sort of hidden behind me here, but on the footpath. But everything else is very cool. It's a really interesting looking building. Love it. Love the design. Very cool. Nice work. Smokeberry says we don't talk about politics, he says, right after talking about politics non-stop for 25 minutes. Now I have to sort of pay attention to what I'm doing here. I've got to decide whether I like this blue tile colour or not. I'm actually thinking I might take it into a bit more of a green. The blue is not bad, because we do have this other blue tile here. I'm just wondering whether I should maybe make it a little bit more green. Don't know. But I don't mind the honeycomb. I wanted to throw it down to see if I like the honeycomb tile. And I don't mind it. I think it's interesting. I was worried it was going to make it look too busy. But because the tile is so small, I don't think it makes it look too busy. If it was a pattern like this, that would have made it too busy. But because the pattern is so small, I think it's okay. I don't think it's too busy. Did the mod slap go off, Smokeberry? Again, I wasn't paying attention to my Discord. To my OBS, I meant to say. Mama always said I was special, Galen said. Smokeberry says to Galen, what's your stance on boxes of chocolates? It's like life, never know what you're going to get. Snappy Girl says, does that mean I'm a VIP? I don't know. Yeah, I think it might be, actually. I think you might be a VIP. I can't remember. Don't know. I have to check that, Sniper Girl. Android Lust says, really impressive. Sniper Girl says to Smokeberry, so true. New Hello says to Smokeberry and Sniper Girl and Android Lust. And thank you. You're welcome, New Hello. It does. It looks great. Very nice work. Thanks for showing it as well. Yeah, no, it looked great. Okay, so I'm not. Will I get it done? I don't think I'll get it done. We have one thing left to texture now, and that is the lines. I'm still trying to work out whether I should make this a little more green. What do you guys think? Keep it as the blue it is, or bring in make it a little bit more green. The tiles here I'm talking about, the ones we've just been working on. The blue matches the blue here. We could make it more green though to bring up the green that we're using on the green tile here. We also have green tiles inside the pond. I just don't know. Yeah, the slap went up. Good. I always like to double check because it uses Python scripting and it's sending it from one piece. The command is being sent from my main computer here to the streaming machine, and I always like to double check it's working as it should. Android Lust says green, Sniper Girl says green. You guys are saying green and not blue. Alright, let's have a look. Let's jump back into Substance Painter. Just before I do that, I'm going to do a quick save here in Max because you never know. Just to be safe. Okay, we'll jump back into Substance Painter and let's change the color. I'm also just going to get rid of these two underlying layers that we're not using. So the ceramic tile here, instead of the blue, let's take it into a green. Galen says purple. New Hello says, have you ever tried Cinema 4D? Kinsent does such classical project like this. I have used Cinema 4D. I used to use it years ago. I haven't used it. I use Max now, but I have used Cinema 4D before. Anything you see here in Max, you could certainly make in Cinema 4D, I'm sure. New Hello. Sniper Girl says to Galen, no, pink, definitely pink. Okay, this is more of a green. Less of a blue, more of a green. Let's send this out and have a look. I'm actually going to send it out to a new folder because I want to keep my previous texture just in case. And we're going to call this one green version. And let's export it. Fuchsia. Galen says, okay, fuchsia. New Hello says to Galen, okay, I did mention it. Thanks everyone for your suggestions. No problem. I'm just going to make a save of this as, and we're going to save this one as the green version in the green folder. Whoops, wrong one. Circular steps. Green. Let's jump back into Max. Let's select that, isolate it, and let's change the color to green. And that's all I need to do is change the color map. I don't need to change the normals or anything because they're all going to be the same anyway. Okay, so now we have a green version of it. So let me deselect that so we can get a better look. And I agree, the greener version does look better. We could even make it a little more green. It's still a bit blue. If we wanted to, we could bring in a little more green. Do you think we should? I don't know if we need to bring. Sniper Girl says, honestly, that like that color, feel that it goes with the tiles on the floor. Yeah, I think you're right because we've got a bluey green happening here. I think it matches that better. So with the slightly more green, less blue. I'm just wondering if I should lighten it up a bit. So not change the colour, but lighten the texture up a little bit. I'm just going to jump back into Substance. And New Hollow says, look better now. Yeah, I'm just wondering if I should maybe just lighten it up a little bit. No, I don't want to touch the luminosity. Set that back. Set that back to where it was. I'm just saying, instead of pulling, I'm just pulling back a little bit on the contrast. Just lightening it up just a little bit. You like that kitty pic with the tongue sticking out, Galen? Yeah, I like the doggy one and the kitty pic. The kitty with its tongue sticking out, and a dog with the blanket over its head. They're my go-tos when I have to post if I'm sick and when I'm better, or if I'm sad and when I'm happy. Let's just re-export this texture again. But it's a cute little kitten for sure. With one eye closed and its tongue sticking out. Okay. Let's just jump back into Max. And let's make sure that texture is reloaded. want to change this from the blue version to the green version because we're using the green one now. I think that might be better. Just a little bit lighter. It was just looking a little bit too dark. So lightening it up a little bit just I think helps it blend in a little bit better. Okay, so we have one thing left to texture. And so I didn't get it done this week. I thought I could get it all done, but we're still going to texture up the line. But the lines are the last thing left for us to texture. After we do the lines, then that will be pretty much all the substance texturing done. And then we're going to jump into Mari by the Foundry to do a little bit of over painting on a couple of things. Like there are a couple of bits and pieces here I know I want to do an overpaint on. Things like these borders here along the bottom. I want to do a bit of paint on those. Also, this top piece here, I want to do a bit of an overpaint on that and the top section here. Aside from that though, probably not a lot else. So only a couple of pieces we're going to do an overpaint on in Mari. And then we're going to jump into Eon View and we're going to do the beauty render. Well, that's the plan. Because yeah, I don't think if I start doing my line texturing now, because I want to throw a few layers down for the lines when we do that in Substance Painter. And a few different smart masks. So it's going to take a little while. So I think what we might do is we'll do a save all here. And I'll save the project in Painter. And then we might call it a day. The lion sleeps tonight. Euro, good to see you, Euro. Yes, the lion sleeps tonight. I really, really wanted to get it done. Get the substance texturing. I'm going to save this as well. Finish today, but that ain't going to happen. We might finish up just 5 minutes early today though, guys. I do want to thank you all though very much for hanging out with me and for watching. I will be back on Monday next week at 5 PM Pacific time. We will finish the lines off, which will finish the substance texturing stage for this model. And then we'll jump into Mari. You've been lurking like a champ, Euro. Good to hear. Yeah, I don't mind lurkers. Guys, if you want to watch and lurk, that's completely fine. But yep, we will call it a day. I do want to thank you guys and girls very much though for hanging out and for watching. I do appreciate it. I will see you all on Monday. Bedtime for you, Galen? I'm sure it's bedtime for a lot of you guys and girls in Europe. Must be very late. You guys and girls have a great weekend, great rest of the week, a great weekend, and I will see you all on Monday next week. See you guys.